Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. Before we get started, I want to let you know that this episode and every episode is brought to you commercial-free by our listeners on Patreon.
Whopper, double junior, triple Whopper. Freight bill chain with terrific toppers. I didn't say any words in that sentence. I got all the consonants at the beginning of the words wrong.
Yeah. If you love this show and you want to support it, I know we have been on a little bit of a hiatus lately, and I promise we'll explain maybe in the episode.
There's not that much of an explanation.
Not that much of an explanation.
We can knock that out of the top. It was like, I was sick, and then Tyler was sick, and then Olivia was sick, and then Tyler was sick, and then Emily was sick, and then Finn was sick.
And now Holden, this is the first day I could go to work without a mask. So
that's awesome. That legitimately. Yeah. So I'm glad you didn't ask, but that is why I'm not there right now tonight. Is because I have to go to Disney World on Saturday, and I was like, I don't trust that family to not get me sick in one night. Like, I love you guys, and normally I'm willing to risk it, but I've paid a lot of money for this biscuit, so...
You know, I've been sick at Disney World before.
Yeah, but, like, I don't want to be sick at Disney World.
I think I just lied to you. I don't think I've been sick at Disney World before.
I haven't been to Disney World since we went with Hunter in, like, 2012, so... They didn't own Star Wars then.
I thought you were going to say in 2007 when we went... with the high school band.
Nope, that's the first time I went, and exactly the second time I went was 5 years later, and then 11 years on from that,
and
going
then,
again.
And then broke up with in the Magic Kingdom when they still had the big old hat. Right under it.
Right under it.
Yeah.
Big old hat.
Dude, so I remember right when I got like super Jesus-y, he showed up to a few things that were like in that sort of clique that I was with.
Yeah.
And he was always so fringe, like, you know, like the Christian movies where they're like, everyone belongs in youth group. And there's like the one kid that doesn't belong, but by the end he does.
Yeah.
This kid would have never made it.
Never belonged.
Like, there was no chance.
Not because he's not worthy of the love of Christ, but because he's probably not worthy of the love of young life, which is fine.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And I mean, I saw his Facebook today. I'm pretty sure he has a cross tattoo, so he's set.
It also appears that he had a child that died.
Oh, I didn't get that.
You didn't catch that in the banner behind that?
I didn't read the banner.
Yeah,
That's stupid.
It was like I was looking at the picture and I was like, these two things don't match up at all. This is a douchebag, and that's a thing about a dead kid.
He is a douchebag. Yeah. Anyway, this has all been the cold open.
On with the episode.
Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're unraveling the mystery.
Or maybe we're just eating donuts.
So, fake your sister's death.
I ran out of quotes. and do something else in a Benoit Blanc voice.
And hold on, I got it. And try to solve this stupid puzzle.
It's just dumb.
It's just dumb.
Oh, man. Today we're bringing you Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery.
That intro music was stumbled through, but it was written by Andrew Scott Bell, who is the composer on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
That should be coming out any minute now.
And it's supposed to be huge. It's supposed to like big numbers.
Big numbers. So that's awesome. Go, Andy. It's probably not your birthday, but it must feel like it, because that's very cool.
I have a sinking suspicion that he and you have the same birthday.
Me and Andrew Scott Bell?
Yeah.
I'd have to ask him. I don't have a clue.
I think so.
So we've been playing this game at work called, it doesn't have a name, but it's what movie character is the most funny when you replace him with Benoit Blanc?
Ooh.
And what I discovered in turn, this has nothing to do with the movie at all. But what I discovered is that if you make him Captain Hector Barbosa in Pirates of the Caribbean, at least Curse of the Black Pearl, you don't actually have to change a line of dialogue. You can just do it in the accent and it all still works. Benoit Blanc standing there going, I am disinclined to acquiesce to your request. It means, no.
No.
You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Swan. You're in one.
You're in one. I see you went straight for a really good answer. I would have gone immediately to like Junie from Spy
Oh no, I mean
Kids.
we went through dozens of these. This is just my own research over the course of the month and a half that we've not recorded since this movie came out, and that I am bringing to you is that there's a lot of funny answers, but a lot of them you have to change. Like if you make him Dumbledore, right? Like you change the whole plot of the movie. The Chamber of Secrets is over at the beginning. It was Tom Riddle that opened the chamber 50 years ago. ago, and it's Tom Riddle that opened it now. I can see the writing on the wall.
Wow, that's good.
And if you want to, if you don't believe me, ask the Weasley girl why there's blood on her shoes.
That's good. You nailed that one. I was in it, man. I thought, is that Daniel Craig on the other line?
I do a couple impressions pretty well. That's one I've kind of got a little bit.
But it wasn't just the voice; it was the narrative, the story. It was Tom Riddle. Then
it's weird because it's like Daniel Craig is the longest running James Bond, right? Like he played James Bond in more movies and for more days than any other human alive, right? And he somehow managed to make a character that I think will go down as more iconic than his James Bond.
You know what's crazy? When you said that just now, you said Daniel Craig, but I pictured Daniel Radcliffe, and you were like, he is the definitive James Bond. He's played Bond
Daniel
more
Radcliffe
than anyone else.
is the definitive James Bond. He's played James Bond more than anyone alive.
But what's so funny is, like, at the end of that, I was like, oh my God, so he's saying, like, he's going to make a good metaphor about how, like, Harry Potter is James Bond.
Harry Potter is James Bond.
James, you know, like, sometimes he gets into danger, sometimes he really doesn't.
Now, Harry, inside of you is a donut, and that donut has a hole, and inside of that donut hole is a Horcrux.
It is... I open at the close.
This is, as they say, your show.
Hold on, what about Rufus Scrimgeour?
Yeah, let me rip off one of those iconic Rufus Scrimgeour lines off the top of my head.
He has two scenes. He's played by Bill Nighy.
He's played by Bill Nighy, and Bill Nighy doing the absolute most.
Oh, he's so good.
Bill Nighy, honestly, is in Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End is not a bad call for replacing with Benoit Blanc.
Oh, I thought you were gonna put Bill Nighy in his Barbossa again.
Yeah, I don't even know how you do it differently. It's just like it's Jeffrey Rush, but like jowlier.
Yeah, and
you best stop believing in ghost stories, my son. You're in one. Okay, let's talk about Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery. Tyler, you've seen this movie. I've seen this movie. What did you think about this movie on a scale of 1 to 100? I'm falling back on my old standbys because we're recording remotely today, something we haven't done in a long time.
If you're usually a viewer of this show, I mean, hats off to you.
Hats off to you.
We don't have the time or energy to put in for the 10 of you right now.
So listeners, viewers, if you remember at the end of the last episode, which I think was, what did we talk about?
The last thing we uploaded.
Christmas. What did we talk about for Christmas this year? Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. The light that normally sits to my left died. And I said, and I quote, I'm going to forget about that before we record again. And I did. That's not why we're not recording in person, but that would have been a hindrance.
That would have indeedy.
0 to 100 for Knives Out, for Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery.
89.
89. I would give it. That sounds about right, actually. Like just under a 90.
Yeah, and
just not quite a 90.
Do you know what it has? A lot of heist mystery movies do this poorly because the movie is the first viewing experience. What this has, I think, is maybe it lacks a little on a first viewing, but is that much better every time you revisit it. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, you didn't actually say what it had.
It had rewatchability.
Okay.
That's what it has.
Gotcha.
And I know it does because the first time I watched it, I felt the same way with Knives Out. The first time I watched it, I was just trying to get through it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. I couldn't appreciate the witty dialogue plus the beautiful cinematography plus the compelling mystery. I get 30% of each of those. So after I watch it 2 or 3 times, that's when I'm like, wow, I appreciate every moment of this, and I love it so much.
Yeah, no, it is great. It's an 89, but in not that there's anything wrong with being an 8.9 out of 10, right?
Right.
But it doesn't go for 100. It's not trying to be 100%er.
Right. I think that's true too.
It is so much the scale is technically a lot grander than Knives Out, but it doesn't feel like it at any moment.
Yeah, no, it still feels very small.
They go to a private island outside of Greece on a yacht, and it's it still feels very small, very cozy, very low stakes. And a lot of people I heard say oh, it doesn't really match up, but if you read Agatha Christie books.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to go back Agatha Christie, yep.
Right, you read Hercule Poirot books. Murder on the Orient Express is a big, loud, vibrant story, right? And then you have ones where like some dude gets killed on a golf course and
Murder
nothing else. Yeah, Murder in the Links, right? And like nothing else much happens. And I think that's fine for this character, right? It's showing that like you can make a movie with like 8 people in it with this character and have it be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a hell of a cast, a really good 8 people.
Oh, I wonder if Edward Norton, Janelle Monáe, Daniel Craig, oh God.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson.
Dave Bautista.
No, that's Dave Bautista. You're still not at the ones that are on the tip of my tongue.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke's in this?
Yeah, he's the guy with the like inoculation gun on the dock.
Oh, you're right. He is. I caught that.
Because they were filming. Apparently, they were filming Moon Knight in like Prague or whatever. Yeah, like wherever they were to film this movie. And Ryan was just like, "Hey, I need a guy for an afternoon. Can you come hang out?" It's a real like Matt Damon in Eurotrip kind of thing.
Can I tell you something real quick that I think you're gonna get upset with me over?
Sure.
Ethan Hawke stock. Rising.
I've given up at this point. Like it can't. He was in Dead Poet Society and he was really good in that. And then he was a lot of bummers. A lot of real.
I don't know that he was. I think there's some hidden gems in those missing years.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some hidden gems in the Ethan Suplee catalog as well too. But like, I'm not sitting here dwelling on it. Right? He was in My Name Is Earl.
Was he really?
Yeah, he's like a lead.
No way.
Yeah, he's Randy. Randy? Did I just pull that out of my ass? My name
Ethan
is
Hawke
Earl.
is not Randy.
No, Ethan Suplee.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Ethan Hawke.
No, I'm not
I was
talking
like,
about
what
Ethan
are you
Hawke.
talking about? Here's the thing about Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke was in Black Hawk Down. That movie sucks.
I mean, you think that, but that's a pretty popular movie.
I don't care. It shouldn't be popular. It's fucking propaganda. It's garbage. It's not Saving Private Ryan, and it sucks. Who wants to watch a movie about Desert fucking Storm? Nobody. Literally nobody. It was made before they even closed the book on that one. Like they didn't sit around during Korea going, "Well, we should make movies about how the Korean War sucks."
They kind of, but like, when did Good Morning Vietnam come out?
Later, significantly later.
Captain America was on stage during World War II selling bonds.
If you notice, I specifically did not say World War II. They made a lot of movies during World War II about how the Nazis suck.
Yeah,
they made
as
a lot
they should
of movies.
Have. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Vietnamese people and why we went to war with Vietnam. And you just said Desert Storm. When people say, "Yeah, I fought at Desert Storm," I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is.
It was the Iraq War before there was an Iraq War.
I picture.
Because Black Hawk Down came out before 9/11, but I think took place in Iraq.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm stupid.
No, it takes place in Somalia.
Oh,
the Somali Civil War in 1992.
I've seen Captain Phillips.
That is a different movie. That's about boats and not helicopters.
Somalia.
Anyway, I don't like Ethan Hawke that much, or I didn't, and he was good in Moon Knight, but it still is not like it wasn't a character that I enjoyed from him. Like I didn't like that guy.
I love that guy.
I didn't like that guy. It wasn't a guy that gave me the warm fuzzies.
No, but that's what makes Ethan Hawke so good. He's like an ugly Robert Pattinson. He's like a tall Willem Dafoe.
Is Willem Dafoe short?
I would imagine Willem Dafoe. Let's play this game real quick.
I would have said Willem Dafoe.
Register. Do you want me to give you an over or under, or do you want to go for specific numbers?
Do you know this answer off the top of your head?
I don't.
Okay, I would say 6'1".
Willem Dafoe?
Yeah.
So you would say you take the over on 5'7".
I would take the over on 5'7", yeah.
Look it up.
How tall? 5'9".
Ooh, the over was good, but you were still off.
I was still off, yeah. You were closer with 5'7" than I was.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Dutch author. He can't be that tall.
Yeah, the Dutch, historically a people that aren't very tall.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Ethan
Hawke is 5'10", so he's 1 inch taller than Willem Dafoe. I'll tell you
Ryan Johnson. Hold on, I got a great idea. You're not.
No,
ready.
I got to say one more thing about Ethan Hawke though.
Okay.
The Ethan Hawke stock really has nothing to do with Ethan Hawke. It has everything to do with his daughter, Maya Hawke, Robin from Stranger Things.
All good things.
She did, yeah, but she did more for his stock than Moon Knight did.
Moon Knight did? Yeah, she did that, and then when Moon Knight came around, I was like, oh, dude, Robin from Stranger Things, she was so good. Let's see what Ethan Hawke's up to. And I was like, oh, I love this. This is so good. He's walking with glass in his shoes. What a strange man.
What a strange guy.
What a weirdo.
I forgot, legitimately for a second, I forgot who the actual lead in Moon Knight was. And it was like, people also search Oscar Isaac's height. And I was like, why?
Okay, so here's my over-under on Oscar Isaac, 5'8".
There's no number with Oscar Isaac that would surprise me, honestly. How tall is Oscar Isaac? 5'9".
Dang. Okay, so here was my idea.
told
The
you.
next Ryan Johnson movie. Okay.
Like the next Benoit Blanc movie, or just the next Ryan
The next
Johnson?
Benoit Blanc.
Okay.
No, the next Benoit Blanc. Knives Out mystery. I want you to disconnect any projects that these people have been in together in your mind real quick, and just picture this cast. Okay, we got Andrew Garfield,
Okay.
Alfred Molina,
Okay.
Willem Dafoe,
Okay. So just the Spider-Man rogues gallery.
Tom Holland, Jamie Foxx.
I don't think Tom Holland has any business being in
Jamie Foxx
in a Ryan Johnson.
No. No. You're not doing this to me. Absolutely not. I will not have this slander. If the girl from Outer Banks gets to be in this,
She, first of all, her name is Madeline Klein, for starters.
fine.
Second of all, she's they don't even try to hide it. She's in this movie because she's hot.
Correct.
Because she's an extremely good-looking young woman.
Fine. Take Tom Holland out. Put Zendaya in.
That I'm fine with.
Put Kirsten Dunst in.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I mean, fine. If I
You don't
must.
think Ryan Johnson? Have you seen a Kirsten Dunst movie?
I'm sure that Ryan Johnson could get the best out of Kirsten Dunst. I just don't fully believe that Kirsten Dunst still does or ever has a best to offer.
Fine. I would say put Emma Stone, but if you put Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield on the screen at the same time,
In a Ryan Johnson movie.
I like Taylor Swift stops being popular that day.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
there's something better.
Absolutely. No, if you told me, that's the thing about the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery. If you told me there was a Ryan Johnson Benoit Blanc piece that had Andrew Garfield and Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe,
And
I would take
Jamie
Tom Holland,
Foxx,
honestly. And Jamie Foxx. I really didn't like Uncharted. He was very bad in that. So
Jamie Foxx.
no, Tom Holland, bud.
Dude, you keep hitting me on that.
Well, you're just supposed
I'm
to
one
know.
idea
You're supposed to
behind.
know who's in what stuff. Like,
Well, you said Uncharted, and I was
okay,
like,
Tom
I
Holland
can
has
see.
Tom Holland has been in Spider-Man: Homecoming, Spider-Man: Far From Home, Spider-Man: No Way Home, and Uncharted.
Is that really all he's been
I mean,
in?
no, it's not all he's been in, but I don't think.
okay.
I have no idea, honestly. But that's what because he was in The Devil All the Time. People liked that movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forget about some of these people. Michael Keaton gets to be in this movie.
No, I would save Michael Keaton for a different Benoit Blanc feature, honestly.
I would want Keaton to play mask gay.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
A real like the Birdcage type thing.
Yeah.
You could just also
Real
get Nathan
Benoit
Lane to
Blanc
play
type
Nathan Lane.
thing.
Yeah, real Benoit Blanc type thing. He's oh my God, he's Phillips or Peter's ex-boyfriend.
He's
He's
another
because at some point you do have to give us
shit. Michael Keaton walks onto the let me have this one.
Okay.
Michael Keaton walks onto the screen and shakes Benoit Blanc's hand. And how does he introduce himself? World's greatest detective. I'm Michael Keaton, world's greatest detective.
Yeah, my name's
I think Ryan Johnson keeps Michael Keaton as his own name.
Barry Black, world's greatest detective.
Good job not translating that into a Germanic language or romantic language, whatever.
I got you, bud.
The Spanish word for black.
Yeah, wasn't gonna not with Michael Keaton. Yeah, so I don't necessarily want to answer the question of like, did I like this better than Knives Out? Because that's kind of a dumb question.
I enjoy this more.
Did you watch Knives Out though? Like recently?
No, not recently.
It is an Ouroboros of movies, right? It is like you watch Glass Onion after you haven't seen Knives Out in a long time, and you're like, fuck, I gotta go watch Knives Out. The movie rules. And what you discover is that movie does indeed rule, and it makes you want to watch Glass Onion. And then you get back around to it, and you're like, fuck, that movie rules. I want to watch Knives Out now. And it's just this like never ending. So the question of like, did I enjoy this more is a tough one. I honestly think I would enjoy either one if somebody put them on right now. I would definitely reach for them before Avengers Infinity War. Both of them for sure.
Say you're scrolling through channels though, and your
I'm
not through channels, but
I can't even say that because I don't.
You're pulling up the streaming and it says, do you want to watch Glass Onion? I think I know the answer to this for you. Or do you want to watch Shang-Chi?
So the problem is I recently left Glass Onion on this topic. I left it in a half finished state. So like it's always at the top of the Netflix.
Yeah.
Where it's like, do you want to continue watching Glass Onion? And I'm like, I mean, no.
I do love that one.
Like I'm here to do something else, Netflix, but like you might have me there. Yeah, I'd put that on before Shang-Chi for sure. I don't find myself like, and this is the problem I have with the MCU is I don't find myself reaching for any of those movies literally ever. Like I have not at any point since we did. Now I've watched a couple of them, mostly for like, oh, I just watched this thing and it made me want to watch that thing.
Yeah.
Kind of reasons. But like, we did the whole run through when we first started this show 5 years ago. That was the last time I've seen most of the MCU movies.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I find going back into the Infinity Saga at all almost feels like diving into... Like, it would be like opening Netflix and being like, I'm going to watch Stranger Things starting at season 3.
Yeah.
It's like, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing in the world. Maybe you prefer that level of characters, but like you have to watch it from the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a certain feeling that if I'm going back to the Infinity Saga, I have to like slodge through 4 out of the first 6 movies.
Right. It's like I feel like I can't watch just Ant-Man, but like I have to go back and start with Iron Man. I don't really want to watch Iron Man right now, so I'm just gonna watch something else.
I can usually be sold on Iron Man. I cannot usually be sold on the rest of Phase 1. I think I prefer the first Avenger to at least Winter Soldier.
Honestly,
it's way lower stakes to put that on.
Yeah, for sure.
But the rest of them, like, do you want to watch Thor? Fuck no.
If I was doing a run through of it, if I was doing a watch through, I would probably just go like, oh, I'm going to watch Iron Man. And then be like, I could watch the rest of the MCU. And then put on Iron Man 3 and just kind of maybe go from there, skip a few in the middle. But like, I would probably just not even attempt Hulk or Iron Man 2 or Thor or Captain America or the Avengers.
I think I can get through the Avengers pretty easy. I think that one could suck me in to this day. Because there's some really genuinely good scenes in there.
Sure, yeah. There's genuinely good scenes in most of them. Maybe not Thor: The Dark World, maybe not The Incredible Hulk, but like even Iron Man 2 has enjoyable moments. Like when Whiplash just like rips Tony's car apart in the middle of the Monaco Grand Prix, that rules.
I like Whiplash.
I like Whiplash too. It's just there's just some shoddy writing there at the end of that movie.
And but that's also got what is his name?
Mickey Rourke.
Sam Rockwell
as Justin Hammer.
Justin Hammer, Hammer Tech or whatever. Bring down the hammer.
I mean, anytime Sam Rockwell's in a thing,
right? Like
if you told me there was a Rian Johnson Benoit Blanc movie that had Robert Downey Jr. and Mickey Rourke and Sam Rockwell and Gwyneth Paltrow and Jon Favreau in it, I'd be down.
I'd be like,
I'd watch that. Yeah, absolutely.
Here.
And Don Cheadle's
there, or Don Cheadle rather.
Yeah, Don Cheadle's there. Like,
oh, cool. What's Don Cheadle doing?
What's Don Cheadle doing here? This is rad. He's playing like I would imagine he's playing like a real Lakeith Stanfield in Knives Out type cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Don Cheadle's in there.
Lakeith Stanfield. Who's Lakeith Stanfield?
Lakeith Stanfield is the cop in Knives Out, like the black cop.
Oh, yes.
The one that actually does cop stuff.
Yes.
So there's a theory going around about this movie, Glass Onion.
Yeah.
You know Daryl, the weird guy that lives on the island with Miles Braun?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the theory is that he's the secret genius and that all the good ideas come from Daryl and all the bad ideas come from Miles.
Oh,
so
that's
like
good.
Boy equals NFT, child equals NFT or whatever it is, was like Daryl's idea.
Ah, that's
because they just come from faxes, right? And the fax is just in the middle of the room.
Right.
So Daryl can just fax stuff to Leon. Lionel.
That's crazy.
I do love this movie. I would watch an unlimited amount of Benoit Blanc movies. They need to make more of them faster.
That's my thing. Is I really want like the first 10 Benoit Blanc box set. I want this character all the time.
Right. I want it to already have happened so I can watch a bunch of it.
Right. I feel the same way.
And the thing is, that's really only a commitment for Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig. Right.
Yes. And I think Daniel Craig has said that this character is fun, but it's hard.
Yeah. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Is he involved in these?
He is in every Rian Johnson movie.
Oh.
So
he is in Star Wars.
What?
Who is he in Star Wars?
He's he's one of the droids.
Oh.
He just does like stuff like that. So he's the hourly dong.
Oh.
And in Knives Out, he is like the voice of everybody that comes out of the computer in when like Marta's sister's watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
He does like every voice of that like cop drama she's watching or whatever.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in all of them, and then the guy that plays Daryl is in all of them as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because he's the other cop in Knives Out.
Oh.
The one that's a Hamilton fan.
Alexander Hamilton.
Because that's the other problem is that Leslie Odom Jr. canonically exists in the Knives Out universe, despite, being in the movie.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, does he?
Yeah, because that one guy is like, oh man, Hamilton, I love that. I saw it at the Public. Just like the downtown theater it was at before it was on Broadway.
Wow. That's a pull right there.
Yeah. Hey, the next one's got to have Lin in it, right? Like, it's been long enough at this point.
That's what I was
He's got to do something.
Lin-Manuel's got to get involved.
Got to get involved some. What if the next... Okay, so I know the next one is Muppets, right? Which I'm not happy about, but whatever.
Wait, it's a Knives Out Muppets mystery?
Apparently. The next one's going to have Muppets in it.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's gold.
No, that sucks. It's the worst. Muppets are the worst.
I don't know, bro. Kermit's such a good character.
Sure, the characters are fine. They're fucking puppets. I don't like puppets. You're never gonna get me to like puppets. It's not gonna happen.
Let me do Kermit, and then you be Benoit Blanc. Hi, I'm Kermit. I'm a frog.
Now, I've been around for a while. I know that frogs cannot talk.
We're that side.
So what if the next? What if after? I don't want to go down this Kermit rabbit hole anymore. We'll talk about Kermit. Kermit the Frog here.
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit's a great character. The voice actor for Kermit is phenomenal. It's a great character. It's one that's easy to do impressions of because there's like a style guide for Kermit, right? Mm-hmm. He talks a specific way. Kermit the Frog here. It's like Goofy. All you gotta do is do a yuck.
Gorge.
No, Your Honor, I didn't say she was very silly. I said she was fucking goofy.
Welcome to our show where we just give you punchlines to jokes you might know. You probably know.
But that's the best kind of joke, right? Is that you don't even need to hear the setup.
I think that's the name of our new podcast, our Bacon and Eggs spin-off.
Punchlines you might know.
Punchlines you might know. PLYM dubs. It's not a dubs at the end. It's a K.
It's a K. It's a W at the end of no. So the next one's Muppets. If after that it is Benoit Blanc the musical, I would be okay with that.
Yes. I really want to go back to this Iron Man.
I don't know whether or not I think Daniel Craig can sing, and I don't know whether or not the movie's better if he can or can't sing.
If I'm not mistaken, Daniel Craig is a song and dance man.
That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
Because I didn't know who he was when he became Bond, and he's no spring chicken.
No, he's not. So why are we talking about Iron Man again?
I just keep thinking about the Iron Man villains.
What about
I keep thinking about how, like, they sat Robert Downey Jr. down and were like, hey, man, we saw how you came back from doing drugs and we're in that movie where you did blackface, which was cool. Everybody's cool with that. We want you to work. Okay, here, listen. What do you think of this? Your first movie, Jeff Bridges. Second movie, Mickey Rourke and Sam Rockwell. You ain't ready for this, Robert Downey Jr. You were just doing a lot of drugs, and we're Paramount right now, and we're going to give you a chance.
It was DreamWorks for what it's worth.
I'm pretty sure those are the same thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't in 2008.
And then they were like, so what do you think of Jeff Bridges? And Robert Downey Jr.'s like, I love Jeff Bridges. And then they're like, okay, what do you think of Sam Rockwell and Mickey Rourke? And he's like, I don't know why you're giving me this opportunity. And then they're like, okay, hold on. You ready? You don't know who Tom Hiddleston is,
Tropic
so don't worry
Thunder
about that
came
one.
out after Iron Man.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
Really?
Yeah, by 3 months, 4 months, 3 months.
4 months. Man, Robert Downey Jr. was having a year.
He was having a year.
I forgot who the villains were in the third one. Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce, yeah.
Oh God. If you told me Robert Downey Jr., if you were like, hey, Robert Downey Jr., guess what? You get to work with Ben Kingsley and Guy Pearce in this next one. Yeah. I'd be like, I literally, like, sign me up for
if you told
absolutely
me there
anything.
was a Benoit Blanc movie coming out that had Jeff Bridges,
yes, exactly,
Mickey Rourke, Sam Rockwell, Guy Pearce, and Ben Kingsley,
and the girl who played the journalist in the first one,
and the girl that Christine, not Christine. No, it is Christine, right? What is her name?
I don't know.
She went to Brown.
And occasionally take out the trash. Whoop-bam!
Journalist, Iron Man. One.
Somebody's screaming at their car right now.
Christine Everhart.
Christine Everhart.
Played by Leslie Bibb.
Shoot, you can throw in, who's that actor that plays Howard Stark in Captain America?
John Slattery.
That's John Slattery?
That's John Slattery from Mad Men.
No. Young Howard Stark.
Young Howard Stark. Okay. From which movie?
Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh.
I just did that thing where I was like, that's John Slattery? Where, like, I definitely didn't know who John Slattery was.
Dominic Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was somebody.
I did too. I think I thought he was the guy, Misha Collins.
Misha Collins is way prettier than that guy.
I don't know. I haven't watched Captain America: The First Avenger in 5 years.
You know who else is in this movie? Because I've decided that they are.
Who?
I'm trying to remember. Give me a second, Ethan. Shove off.
Holy man!
Jack Black.
When you factor in Captain America: The First Avenger might be. I know Chris Evans is out because he's already been in Knives Out. Captain America: The First Avenger might be in the running for Marvel film that has the best cast for.
Oh yeah,
of Benoit
Tommy
Blanc
Lee
movie.
Jones.
You got Tommy Lee Jones. You got Kenneth Choi. You got Neil McDonough. You got Stanley Tucci.
And then I think as
Sebastian Stan, obviously, like modern Sebastian Stan. You got Samuel L. Jackson. You got Hugo Weaving. You got Haley Atwell.
Oh, Hugo Weaving. Oh, and then I think if you're Rian Johnson, I think you also get to pull one character from literally anything else. And I think with that cast, I want Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman in a Rian Johnson Benoit Blanc movie would be marvelous in any capacity.
It'd be so good.
Actually, if you just took I know you can't use Kevin Spacey, right? But if you took the cast of horrible bosses.
Hold on. Let me flip this on its head. We're the Millers.
And that's a good one too. Did you see they're making a sequel?
How? Oh man, that's gonna be hilarious.
It's gonna be hilarious, yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
Because they know what to do with Sudeikis now. Like.
Yeah, I mean, if he just plays Ted Lasso for every character,
if you get Ted Lasso in a Benoit Blanc movie, if you take Charlie Day, Jason Bateman, and Jason Sudeikis,
Jamie Foxx,
we
keep coming back to
Jennifer Aniston, because Jamie Foxx is the best.
I think Rian Johnson knows what to do with Kevin Spacey. I'll be real with that. Like, obviously, he did terrible things. I'm not defending Kevin Spacey, but he also is like Psycho, right?
Yeah.
I think Rian Johnson could channel that.
I think Rian Johnson could trick Kevin Spacey into being in a movie about the crimes that Kevin Spacey committed.
Yes.
Like, I think Rian Johnson could get Kevin Spacey to confess to crimes in front of a justice of the peace.
Yes, as part of his movie.
Or
they'll be like, or Kevin Spacey would be like, "Who's that actor playing the judge?" And Marshall Thurgood Marshall is going to be sitting.
Yeah, Thurgood Marshall
is going to be sitting there, like the real Thurgood Marshall.
The next Benoit Blanc movie is going to be like Benoit Blanc and the Muppets and like AOC and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
And the cast of In the Heights.
And the cast of In the Heights. And like, man, but okay, so Captain America: The First Avenger is a pretty good one for a Benoit Blanc movie. Are there better ones?
The one that I think, Shang-Chi was one of the first things that came to mind, but I think all you get out of that is Simu Liu and Awkwafina. Who else would you pull from that?
What is the dad's name? I mean, he's a legend. I can never remember his name.
On that thread, though, Crazy Rich Asians.
I mean, Crazy Rich Asians is one you could just drop Benoit Blanc in.
He's just part of the
mystery. Part of the thing. Like,
he's just like at dinner.
Oh, because so no. Okay, so you get Simu Liu, you get Awkwafina, you get Michelle Yeoh.
Yes, that's who I
obviously
remember.
You get Tony Leung, who's the dad. You get Ben Kingsley again.
Yes. Oh, Ben Kingsley.
You get Benedict Wong.
Yep. I think the Doctor Strange films, you do get a baller cast.
Yeah, I mean, Multiverse of Madness really is probably the best one out of all, because that gets you Cumberbatch, obviously. That gets you, Patrick Stewart.
You have to have Cumberbatch playing the most different from Sherlock Holmes character he can.
Oh,
ever
absolutely.
Play,
yeah, for sure. But that gets you Patrick Stewart. That gets you.
John
Elizabeth
Krasinski.
Olsen. It gets you
Krasinski. Yep.
It gets you.
Oh, what is her name from Captain Marvel?
Yep. I just looked this up literally yesterday too. We were just talking about her.
Not Brie Larson, obviously.
Yeah,
no. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
It's not, believe it or not, okay, Scott Pilgrim versus the World is not an MCU film.
It is a comic book film, and it is a great Benoit Blanc cast.
It is.
I love that about some of these Marvel movies, that like I love some of these castings. I don't think of those actors as those roles.
I'll tell you one that we're not thinking about enough.
Hold on.
Lashana Lynch is her name, by the way.
Lashana Lynch, I knew that.
She'd be phenomenal. But Captain Marvel gets you Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, Jude Law, Djimon Hounsou, Ben Mendelsohn, Gemma Chan.
Mendelsohn is
honestly
one
Clark
that
Gregg would slap, obviously.
Obviously. I think...
And the guy that played Sawyer in Lost.
Yes, he's in it for like a minute, isn't he?
No, this is not him. Never mind. This is some other guy. Just looks like him.
Hold on. I had such a good thought. Where did it go?
Jude Law, Ben Mendelsohn in a Benoit Blanc movie would be
Ben Mendelsohn as Benoit Blanc's Moriarty.
I was just getting ready to say the same thing. Like when you finally start getting an arc for Benoit Blanc.
Yes.
Yeah, because you got to give him or just take Andrew Scott.
Is he Moriarty?
He's Moriarty in Sherlock.
Yeah.
But you just make him like very Southern.
Yeah, you got to do the same treatment you did.
He's just the guy that Benoit grew up across the street from.
From man of your talent.
What was that?
It's a shame. This is Ben Mendelsohn in Rogue One.
Jesus.
Really?
Rogue One's a good one, man, because it gets you Diego Luna.
Dude,
it gets you Forrest Whitaker. It gets you Mads Mikkelsen. It gets you Ben Mendelsohn.
Mads Mikkelsen. There it is. I can't believe we haven't said it. I think you and I were on the same wavelength. On 3, we'll say the movie that has the best Benoit Blanc cast. Ready?
I don't know where we're going with this.
2, 1. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh yeah, that's where I was going. Obviously, I was going for the Crimes of Grindelwald, not the Crimes of Grindelwald. I mean, if you take the whole series, you got to take the whole series, right? Because that gets you Mads Mikkelsen, it gets you Johnny Depp, it gets you Colin Farrell. That's all you need right there.
That's all you
Everybody
need.
else is just window dressing.
But you've got Jude Law, you've got Eddie Redmayne.
You've got Jude Law, you've got Eddie Redmayne, you've got Dan Fogler. You get Catherine Waterston.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like,
think of the memes.
It just works with so many groups of people, man. Because especially if you take like any cast of like a recent like Best Picture nominee type movie, like you go for like Black Klansman, right? You have Adam Driver and Topher Grace and John David Washington, and like these groups of people that like you just let them be silly for a while. It's gonna be so good.
Well, and let me pull this up. Did you see the most recent Actors Roundtable?
I did not.
It's so good. Listen to this group of guys: Adam Driver, Shia LaBeouf, Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, Jamie Foxx.
I would like to sit at that table.
Listen to this one. Do you ever watch these? They're from The Hollywood Reporter.
I do not.
They're so good.
But I know what you're talking about. I have not like.
You're not ready. Austin Butler, Brendan Fraser, Ke Huy Quan, Adam Sandler, and Jamie Foxx. And I watched this one. Let me see who it is. Colin Farrell. That was the one I was missing.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell, dude. That's a dude. It is such... I didn't like him for a long time, and now I can't imagine not thinking he's one of the greats.
You didn't like Colin Farrell?
No,
What is this Philly accent you're doing? You keep coming in here like, no.
No. So I feel like when it comes to Colin Farrell, he felt out of place to me. He's a little too... It's like he's outlined in bold.
In what?
In my first... I couldn't tell you what film I'm thinking of, but it must have been some performance that I saw, and he was just a little too out of place. He pulled me out of the magic of whatever movie
was. The Lobster?
No, I've never seen The Lobster. That's a horror film, isn't it?
I don't think so. I've never seen The Lobster. But I know, like, you definitely haven't seen In Bruges.
No.
So, like, I'm trying to think of what you would have seen Colin Farrell in that would have, like, offended you before Fantastic Beasts.
He's in, he was not in this film, but he's in Saving Mr. Banks, isn't he?
Saving Mr. Banks. When did that come out?
I don't know. I would have thought before Fantastic Beasts.
He is in Saving Mr. Banks. He's the dad. Oh, he's the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Dude, Saving Mr. Banks, I don't know if it's...
Oh, he's in Horrible Bosses. I forgot about that, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's Sudeikis' son, or D-Bag's boss's son.
It's not him in that. He does great in that. He
does great in literally everything.
I couldn't tell you. Whatever I first saw him in, I just felt like he was a little out of place. No, I didn't know that was him. That was the first thing I probably saw him in, but I did not know that was him until like much later in life. I would say like
that is definitely the first thing you saw him in. 100% chance.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
I always thought that Colin Farrell in Daredevil, when I was a kid, that was the same actor as the dude in The Matrix, the villain.
Okay.
That's how I pictured that in my brain and internalized it with this. Was that those were the same
Was it
people.
the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Was it Crazy Heart?
No.
Was it Seven Psychopaths?
No.
Was it Total Recall?
It could have been Total Recall, but I don't think
It's just movies that came out between Daredevil and Saving Mr. Banks that I think you would have seen.
I know, but this is one of those, like, I know I've seen him.
I just cannot imagine, like, not liking Colin Farrell.
That's where I'm at now, is I can't picture a young me that like didn't like
the
Colin
wild thing
Farrell.
is like Colin Farrell probably going to get the Best Actor win, and was also in the Batman in the same year.
He was in the Batman.
He's the Penguin.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then, like, right at the end of the year, turns in the like performance of a lifetime.
And the Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah, him and Brendan Gleeson.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not.
I haven't either. I haven't seen like any of the Best Picture noms.
You see an Avatar: The Way of Water?
Yes, I have. Holy shit!
This gets me literally. I can see
rad. That was the coolest thing ever, dude. Whoa.
Okay, chill out, bud.
Avatar: The Way of Water was awesome.
It was fine.
Oh, dude, I saw it in 3D.
I also saw it in 3D. That was an interesting one, right? Because like it was way better than the first one in a lot of ways, but also like not as good as the first one in a lot of ways.
It felt very much that he like wrote the first one and he was like, "That's my complete story about the Na'vi people." I do want to make 4 more.
Here's the thing: is I need James Cameron to understand that two things. One thing, he doesn't have to end every movie in a big fucking $100 million battle sequence. And 2, you don't have to sink a boat every movie. Like,
he didn't sink any boats in Avatar.
No, but like, okay, so he took one movie off.
And in Titanic, for the record, he produced Mortal Engines too. Okay, a lot of people not giving him credit on that one. Hugo Weaving was in that.
Anyway, Avatar: The Way of Water was great up until that fight sequence, and then it was bad.
I disagree. I thought the fight sequence was great.
I hated the last fight sequence. It was awkward. It was weird. They did the frame rate thing the whole time. Stop that.
What frame rate thing?
Did you not notice?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Then you didn't notice.
Oh.
Where like
I was just in it.
Half the movie's shot at 24 frames a second, half the movie shot at 48 frames a second. And it's like really awkwardly jarring because they just frame ramp back and forth between them depending on what needed to be on screen at the time. Yeah, and it just like, I don't know, they looked like they ran out of money because they were like, everything's dark now and it's going to be all like Game of Thrones-y, you know, that episode that nobody liked.
Okay, Avatar is nothing like that episode of Game of Thrones nobody liked.
It's just like that, man. It's like, oh, we're going to fight in the dark because it's cheaper for CGI.
I thought the dark fight sequences, man, I don't know. I wasn't looking for things to complain about. I was going in like looking for stuff to like.
I got
and
through
if you go in looking for stuff to like, dude, it's so good.
I got through 2.5 hours of like a great movie, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna do a big military thing, and it wasn't as good. It's like they ran out of money.
My thing here was my only disappointment was I didn't feel like I got to know the kids well enough, fast enough. By the end, I knew them, but I didn't get to know them well enough, fast enough. And 2, I didn't want the big fish to be something that everybody had. I was like, well, that just ruined the big fish for me.
Here's the thing. I didn't know what I wanted out of Avatar: The Way of Water. But James Cameron told me what I wanted out of Avatar: The Way of Water and did not give it to me, which is what I wanted was for Jake Sully to just keep his narration going a little longer, right? And go like, and then Neytiri and I had to go to the tribe of the water people because we were run off from our homes. And my kid met a big whale and nobody likes the whale. And then it's like a 3-hour movie of the kid trying to convince everybody that the whale is cool. I would watch a whole movie of just that. Of Loak being like, this is Paya Khan, he's my friend. And then being like, no, that's a murder whale. And him being like, actually, it's not. Weirdly enough, stop being whale racists.
Although it is a murder whale.
Yeah, but like... it was
like, let's not forget that like everything this whale does is murder. Like, if the reason we trust the whales is because they could kill us and don't, and this one kills us, we shouldn't trust this whale.
You seen the webcomic that's like, one panel is an orca at a witness stand, and the lawyer is like, now, would you mind telling the court what kind of whale you are? And then the next frame is just a dolphin lawyer being like, objection!
That's so good.
It's so good, man. Yeah, so it's a killer whale. It's not a murder whale.
In the movie, those are murder whales.
No, just Paya Khan. He's the only one that killed a person,
and he killed a bunch of persons.
I would watch the whole movie about just the kid and the whales.
Yeah, but I didn't want everybody to get a whale. That was my thing. Was like, wow, this is like a really big whale, and he just befriended it.
No, but see, that's the thing.
Sued that bad boy.
That's the thing with Pandora, though, is a land of abundance. Everybody gets a whale. Everybody got a Toruk or an Ikran. An Ikran, that's what they're called. Yes.
Toruk Makto.
Yeah. There's one Toruk. There's one Payakan, but everybody gets an Ikran. Everybody gets a
But they had their
Tulum.
They had their little Ikran-sized baddies that like flapped their tails.
Yeah, but like they don't. Not everybody gets a whale. Like nobody gets the whales. They don't get to keep the whales.
Right. You don't get to like ride the whale.
Like you don't.
Do when
you
they
don't
come to
have
visit.
Ben and Jonathan. You just like they're your brothers, right?
Right.
The whales are their brothers.
Okay. Could I be their brother?
You're not a Na'vi.
Well, neither is Jake Sully.
That's true, but Loak is.
Jake Sully, I like the character
James
a lot
Cameron
more now.
falls victim to this thing, man. That was the start of Avatar. Was he was like, we got a beautiful world and everything's cool and there's racism. Like at the very beginning, it's just like, I'm a Marine. This is great. Go to Pandora. Racism.
You're not in Venezuela anymore.
We're not in Kansas anymore. You're on Pandora.
I love
character.
that
guy. He's so good. Did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Not a scratch. This. First day here.
He has it
Then
on his
felt
avatar
like a shaved
too.
Taylor Louis.
The fact that he has the scar cut
his
into his
avatar,
avatar. That dude. Oh, I loved that they brought his character back. That's the one thing I didn't like about Avatar: The Way of Water was Spider. What's his name?
Yeah, he's fine. We clearly have not seen the end of his story.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'll tell you this: Avatar: The Way of Water. I was like, how on earth is James Cameron going to get me to care about the lore of this world he's created beyond what's already there? Succeeded.
Yeah,
I'm itching for the next one.
Whales. The answer was whales.
Cool. Whales.
Turns
Lots of fishy whale types.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm invested. I want to know what the next season is. Also,
well, it's fire, right?
This is gotta be. Avatar has pioneered something that I hope I see more of in the future, which is Sigourney Weaver gets to play a teenager.
Sigourney Weaver is 70, so I will just you're not going to get you're going to get plenty. You're not going to get a lot of Sigourney Weaver in the future.
I don't just mean Sigourney Weaver as a teenager. I mean, this opens up the door for possibilities for older actors and actresses to really emote and fully encompass a fully high-end mocap character who is younger. And I think that's something we haven't
you can't
really
open this door
before.
too wide though, because then you'll get Jamie Lee Curtis doing a Halloween prequel as a 14-year-old Laurie.
But Na'vi Laurie.
Yeah, what if Laurie from Halloween was a Na'vi?
Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc would have stopped Halloween in 30 seconds.
But Ghostface.
When he gets into
Halloween,
he gets into the what?
Is that Ghostface? And that's Scream.
That's Scream. Michael Myers is Halloween.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
If Benoit Blanc gets to whatever the hell the name of the town is, I can't remember.
Amityville? I don't know.
It's not Amityville. That's Jaws.
Oh yeah.
No, that's Amity Island. Amityville is just Amityville, Connecticut. It's like a real place. But yeah. Benoit Blanc goes into that house where there's the cop is like, there's a dead dog. It could have been a skunk that killed him. And Benoit Blanc is like, a skunk? This ain't no damn skunk. It was Michael Myers, the prisoner that escaped from the reason that you're here right now. It's Michael Myers. Now, we're going to go to his parents' house.
I've never seen this
I watched
movie.
Halloween for the first time this Halloween. And let me tell you what, that movie, it on one hand, it sucks so hard. On the other hand, it's fucking great because it's one of those things where it's like 2001, right? It is it's responsible for basically everything in the horror genre since it came out.
Right.
It was the first slasher movie ever. But
you
also
think Michael Myers was the first slasher movie ever?
It absolutely was.
What about Psycho?
Psycho's not a slasher movie.
I thought that was the dun 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 dun.
So that's one scene that he does that to in one person, and also it's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. Turns out.
Oh, that's good for her.
Yeah, Janet Leigh.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Sigourney Weaver.
Jamie Lee Curtis is one where she responded very poorly to the nepotism baby conversation, and it's I just want to tell her they're not talking about you, buddy. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Whatever you want.
When they talk about nepotism babies, they're talking about Brooklyn Beckham. They're not talking about you.
Where do we draw the line though?
Right underneath Chalamet, it sounds like, is where we've decided.
Tim Chalamet is not even on Apple Plus.
Is that true?
That is true.
There's not a single.
That's his.
There's not a single Chalamet project that's available on Apple TV Plus.
I'm sure there is, but that he hasn't had like an Apple TV original. That's his Super Bowl commercial. Is he keeps seeing like everybody is on Apple TV Plus and he's not, and he's like,
didn't they just do that with Tom Hanks?
Probably they did it with John Hamm at one point.
John Hamm. No, I swear to God, there was a Tom Hanks one.
I don't know. If Tim Chalamet is about to drop the hottest Apple TV Plus show of the century, though, I'm ready.
What if Timothée Chalamet is a new player in season 3 of Ted Lasso?
I was actually going to say Denny Rojas alongside Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver in my Benoit Blanc film.
You could definitely take the cast of Ted Lasso and make a hell of a Benoit Blanc movie. For sure.
Oh my God, yes.
You get Sudeikis and Brett Goldstein and Brendan Hunt. Yes, that's his name. Got that one. That's Coach Beard. Hannah Waddingham and Phil Dunster.
Oh my God.
Is Jamie Tartt's name.
If Hannah Waddingham wanted to...
The guy that plays Samo Bisagna.
I would do anything with her. She can be in my Sigourney Weaver 14-year-old movie.
The woman that was the prime minister in that really bad episode of Doctor Who about the Slitheen that plays the barkeep.
Yes.
She's great.
Oh, yeah.
The guys at the bar that hang out, they would be great.
Is the psychiatrist ever in Doctor Who?
I have no idea. There's a lot of episodes of Doctor Who.
Yeah, there is. She's the Ood. Under that Ood mask,
you got David Tennant, you got Matt Smith, you got Chris Eccleston, you got Karen Gillan, you've got an Ood.
He's just holding his little ball the whole time.
Yeah. They go to like a creepy old man's house and he's like the butler.
Don't boop the Ood.
Oh man, this whole episode has just been us talking about what other franchises we'd like to put Benoit Blanc in, and it's the best thing we could ask for from this episode.
I know, yeah. I think those would be my top choice. Somebody is like, okay, you guys have done the bit. You can move on now. That's actually the name of our new comedy podcast, is Comedy Doesn't Come Best in Threes.
I think the name of the podcast is You've done the bit. You guys can move on now.
The name of the podcast is you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and we don't.
We clearly do not. Yeah. The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring.
For sure.
Gets you...
That's a movie.
Gets you Elijah Wood. It gets you Sean Bean. It gets you Ian McKellen. It gets you Billy Boyd. It gets you Dominic Monaghan. It gets you Sean Astin. It gets you Viggo Mortensen. It gets you John Rhys-Davies. It gets you Orlando Bloom. It gets you Cate Blanchett.
I'm gonna take this game a step further.
It gets you Andy Serkis.
I'm gonna give you 5 movies, and you get...
Is Gollum in the first one?
Yes, Gollum is in the first one.
Okay.
You get Andy Serkis from each of them. You get one actor from that film to be in your Benoit Blanc film. Starting with Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
I get one actor from Fellowship of the Ring to be in my Benoit Blanc movie.
Or we can draft it.
Okay, we can draft it. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, let's
Should that be the Hash Browns?
Sure, yeah. We're actually just about there.
Yeah.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dude.
It's George Carlin every day.
Yeah, if I can get George Carlin in any movie, I think I would do that.
Oh, death is not an obstacle here. And I have faith in you to offer me a different Keanu Reeves movie.
Oh, that's the other rule here, is that you can't pull an actor. If they've been in something, they're out. You only get one actor that's been in that, and that kills everybody else.
Okay.
So you also have to deal with the repercussions of Scarlett Johansson is dead now.
Wait, why?
Because you're making this movie, so you killed Scarlett Johansson.
What does Scarlett Johansson have to do with anything?
We haven't gotten to a movie she's in, but if you have to...
Okay. All right, well, this has been an episode of Bacon and Eggs. We missed you. Thanks for coming back. We'll try to be more consistent. We're not promising we'll be more consistent, but we'll try. We'll do our darndest.
I'm not 25 anymore, guys.
No. He's not even 20 anything anymore.
I'm 30.
Yeah, I'm not. Screw you, sucker.
I have a job that's like corporate that I kind of like.
You also had that when you were 25.
I did, yeah. When we started this show, I did not. I was waning on my care for used car sales.
You also didn't have kids or a wife.
Or a Mustang.
Nope.
I know. No, I did.
Did you?
I think so. We got it before we were married.
Yeah, you only didn't have a wife for like 3 months.
I know. That's how I came into this world. When I was 3 months old, I got married.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, this has been another episode of Bacon and Eggs. If you want to go support the show on Patreon and get access to the hash browns, you go to patreon.com/bacon and eggs podcast.
Well, we're going to draft a Benoit Blanc.
We're going to draft a Benoit Blanc thriller.
Yes.
A Benoit Blanc experience. A Benoit Blanc joint.
Jaunt.
Nope.
No?
No. Anyway, I've been Ethan Chill, he's been Tyler Carlin. Until next time, arrivederci.
And it's just dumb.